Hey everyone, Brian here. Some of my loyal fans from a couple years ago should remember this snowblower. It's a Noma. I believe it's a 26-inch cut. I believe it's a 10-horse Snow King Tecumseh. Yep, 10-horse Snow King Tecumseh. If you remember, a few years ago, probably about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, I did a tune-up on this, or at least I attempted to do a tune-up on this, and unfortunately it failed. I ended up having to put my carburetor from my John Deere on this, so we could use it a couple years ago for the winter. As you can see, it's here again. A little bit of a story. I offered to buy this thing off the owner a couple years ago, and he declined. That was just after I got it running, and he declined, and now he came to me last night. He said, oh, if you want the snowblower, you can have it. So I got a free snowblower. I know exactly what it needs. It needs a carburetor, or the carburetor completely dipped. It's one of these newer Tecumseh carburetors that suck. Bit of a backstory if you don't remember the previous videos. It was purchased in Toronto, brand new. When it was brand new, it was purchased. I'm not sure 100% how old this is. It's not that old, and it's not that new, but it's not, like I said, it's not that old. But it was purchased, and they used it for a season, let it sit for a couple years. The guy who I got it from got it, and he used it. They were able to get it running. He used it for the first year they lived here. On my street, and then it sat for about 2 or 3 years. Then he came to me and says, oh, can you get the snowblower running for me? Because I knew about it, and he said, oh, can you get it running for me? It's been sitting. I said, yeah, I'll take a look. And I said, okay, it's going to need a carburetor, but since it was so close to the winter, I just put my carburetor from my John Deere on it. Since this was a nicer snowblower, has a light, taller, and just overall a nicer snowblower. So we used it, and I put his carburetor back on it for the for I believe it would be last summer. It could be 2 summers ago. I don't quite remember. And it sat outside all summer, and it sat outside all winter. So I think it was just last summer. And so the elements have not been too friendly to it. The metal pieces all still look good. There's no major rust on the machine. The augers are not seized. As you can see, everything's moving. Obviously, it's all going to have to come apart. I'm probably going to take it all apart, clean it all up. I believe there are grease certs on the auger. Make sure the gearbox has grease in it. Make sure it's a 2-stage. Make sure everything's spinning good. I already know, like I said, I already know what's wrong with the engine. Hopefully there's nothing else wrong with it. As you can see, it's been sitting underneath pine trees. He does have all the accessories for the chute. Unfortunately, the cable here is seized. That I believe it operates the chute back and forth. I gotta get the spinner from him to turn the auger. As you can see, it's still the same wire I put on it a couple years ago. I think it's a piece of welding wire, just to hold the chute in one spot. But let's check the oil. At least it's got oil. But the engine should run. It ran really nice when we had it running. Let the wind pass. But right now I had a bugger of a time pushing it home. It was kind of stuck, so it needs to be cleaned up. I'm thinking about doing in the next couple weeks, I'm going to clean this up and get a carburetor, or rebuild this carburetor, attempt to at least, and summarize it and store it all summer, and hopefully it will fire right up in the winter when I need it. You may be wondering, oh, I have a snowplow, why do I need a blower? Sometimes a blower comes in more handy than a snowplow. That's all I'm going to say on that topic. So here's the snowblower, the Noma. It's mine, and I'm happy to have it. I need it. I was actually going to go out and buy a brand new one until he actually came to me and said, oh, I have it, it's yours. And that's pretty much it. Oh, there's the size right there. It's a 1028, so it's actually a little bit bigger than the John Deere. I think that's why I wanted to use this one instead of the John Deere as well. So that's pretty much it. Snowblower's back. I'll talk to him later. Please keep it redneck like always, and please subscribe and comment.